A very good evening to all our viewers. Welcome to today's edition of the Evening Review. My name is Toiwanjabella, your host. Let's have a look at some of the headlines in Friday's Namibian Sun. Undercover police and journalists bust fake healer. That is in Ohangwena region. Details of that story is in Friday's edition of Namibian Sun. Also, my deputy and I are like mom and daughter. That is Minister of Youth and Sport, Agnes Shongarero, commenting on allegations that there is a fallout with her deputy, Emma Kantema Gaumas, so much that apparently they are not even on talking terms. The minister says that report is devoid of any truth. Finally, $2 billion have been paid from MIDCO to farmers who do business with the company in a space of 3 years, despite very harsh climate conditions where grazing and rain are simply in short supply. The company was still able to pay farmers that amount of money. All those details in Friday's edition of the Namibian Sun. Tonight on the show, we are joined by Katrina Liswani. She is one of the two candidates vying for the position of Swapo Party Women's Council Secretary that is up for grabs at the Congress to be held later next week. Meme Liswani, thank you very much for making time.
Thank you, Toivo, for inviting me to the show.
Wonderful. Well, part of the reason why we invited you is because, of course, Fransina Kahungu, who is also the other person vying for the same position, was here. And our viewers were demanding that you must also come to the hot seat and share with us your views. Maybe give us a sense first what your association to the Women's Council right now. Are you serving in any structures of the Women's Council?
Thank you for the question. Presently, I am a member of Central Committee, at the same time a member of National Executive, at the same time a member of Secretariat. Secretariat responsible for the International Affairs.
Okay.
I'm an Assistant Secretary for International Affairs.
Okay.
In the Swapo Women's Council.
Wonderful. So does that now, you think that your experience in those very high structures of the council give you a sense of understanding of the organization and therefore an opportunity also to lead it correctly?
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
What I have, the experience I have, apart from being in Swapo Women's Council for many years, I've been working first and foremost with the Swapo Party in Exile, in the Department of Labor, and the experience, administration of running an organization, to me would always be the same. And the experience I gained from international organizations, it will also play a role in implementing the decisions of the Swapo Party Women Council, of course, will come from the Congress. In a nutshell, I just want to say the vast experience I gained in the Swapo Party since 1974 up to 1989 when returned, and the experience I gained again after independence, working with different organizations, national, international, that make me to feel that I'll be able to perform better in the organization.
Is that better than Fransina Kahungu?
I cannot, that is not my take at all. I'm not here to compare.
Yes.
I'm not, the qualification, the requirements, everybody feel that he meet the requirements.
Yes.
That's why we stood for that. I don't want to compare who and who.
Yeah.
We are all comrades, and we all have experience.
Indeed.
Depend on the voters, what they will see on us.
Indeed. I know that you don't want to speak about other candidates, which is a good principle, but the fact that your competitor for this particular position is currently the Deputy Secretary of the Swapo Party Women's Council, does that scare you a little bit? Does it intimidate you that she's in an advanced position to get the job? Or how confident are you actually in winning against her?
As I said, I don't want to compare anybody.
Yes.
The voters are there to determine who is the right candidate.
Yeah. So
whoever come out is the right candidate. We don't know what they are going to see, to look at.
Yeah.
Maybe they will look at whatever, this one is doing this, this one is doing that. Maybe we don't know what they are going to look at.
Indeed.
Of course, indeed, they will look at the requirements, which in most cases are not set.
I hear you. It's a fair point. Everybody who vies for a position like that, any position, whether you are becoming a minister or you're becoming a CEO of an organization, you want to stamp your own authority and your own identity on that institution that must, in most cases, separate you from the pack. You don't want to be just a copycat of Eunice Ipinge, who is currently the secretary of the Women's Council. How differently do you want to be recognized, or to be remembered once you get to serve the organization, the wing?
Thank you for the question. The world today, we experience a lot of things, a lot of challenges, in fact. And these challenges are known. Some of them, we have answers to them. Some of them, we don't have.
Yeah.
So in this, I want to say that I want to come in with a leadership which is participatory.
Yeah.
Participatory. Participatory in a way that most of the decisions taken by our top, they are not known.
Yes.
Why? Because the beneficiaries are not involved, one. And after the decision is made or the policy is made, they are not well disseminated. At least I would love to have a participatory approach, whereby, for example, we have regions, 14 regions. You want to identify problems according to regions. They are not unique, they are not the same. For example, we have Kunene. Kunene, they have a lot of stones. They have a lot of what? They are doing powder facials, being done by women. But nobody is looking into how these women can be assisted. How can this business be advanced?
Yes.
And in most cases, you find that if you try to advance, it's men again. They will jump in that business, and women, they will remain behind again. So those are the things which I try to involve the beneficiaries, the Swapo women counselors. You know, we have a lot of things, but if you ask a woman in the region, in a rural area, they don't know what the fish quota is, they don't know what the mining what, they don't know all these things. So what I want is to empower them economically. I know we have political empowerment, which most of the elite are benefiting. But how about women in rural area? What are they benefiting from our government? Are they getting tenders in their own regions? Are they getting, you know, those benefits men are getting? In most cases, they are not getting at all.
Indeed.
In most cases, you find, like I went campaigning, I went to houses, you find that it's pathetic. So I want to implement the decisions, the instrument passed by the government, which will empower the women of Namibia, the women of Swapo, so that they can benefit fully.
Indeed.
Yes.
Those efforts that you're talking about, Liswani, are that because there's also a lot of disillusionment now among women in the country for reasons that you just listed now and others. Women feel excluded. Women feel that men continue to be favored in most cases, and there is an element of loss of faith among women in Swapo. Do you think, therefore, that if you were to be elected as Secretary of the Women's Council, you will also help restore the faith of women in the party, and so that they see Swapo as an organization that speaks to their aspirations?
Yes, yes. Thank you. I am for unity. We are there to unite the party. And if, for example, I bring this, what I want to do, no women will run away from the party. They will make sure that we will come back, we will work for our party. So that way, I thought I will try to unite them by benefiting from their government.
Indeed. We go for a quick break and then return shortly for the second half of the show. We continue with Katrina Liswani on the evening review. Again, Liswani, you spoke about women empowerment, I think, which is very critical. But another important thing is protection of women. Society has evolved over the years. I mean, you come from a different generation than your daughters today. So the role of women in society, the empowerment and everything has evolved so much that now we must be seen to be equal as men and women. There are things like gender issues. And the Minister of Gender Equality is always in trouble for her views on certain things because she is perceived by many not to comprehend the evolution that has taken place. For example, she talks about, when she's asked about abortion issues, for example, she would say, oh, I'm a Christian woman, I cannot tolerate those things. But it's not about her. It's about the role, that motherly role that she occupies for all the women in the country, Christian and non-Christian. What would be your role in issues like that? Abortion, same-sex marriages. Some women are demanding to be married to others. What kind of role would you play in those kind of things?
As you said, that the world is changing, it's dynamic, it's not static. And time is very important. What time are you bringing issue to that nation, to that society? Do they accept it at that moment? Do they accept that, at that moment? Time is very, very, very important. You don't blame the minister. Maybe the time is not ripe for her. You don't blame who? Maybe, because of culture.
Yeah.
We have different cultures in Namibia. And one have really to involve research.
Yeah.
Research here is very important. So that, there is an analytical situation whereby, determine, are we at the right time to talk about this? Are we at the wrong time to talk about these issues? So, for me, you need to understand issues and compare. Otherwise, fighting will continue within the society.
Indeed. And that's a very clever response. Because you are saying, the wind that is blowing at that particular moment will help you to determine what is the way forward. What are your personal views on abortion, for example? Personal. Yeah.
Personal, we have to find out the root cause of abortion.
Yeah. But do you support it? No, because there's this abortion that is happening now. We hear babies being found in dump sites and whatnot. But there's now this movement that is pushing for the legalization of abortion. In fact, I didn't put my question correctly. What are your views on the legalization of abortion?
I go back to what I said.
Yeah.
We have to find out why abortion. At least that body, which want abortion to be legalized or not to be legalized. They must have a clear situation analysis. Why are the girls aborting or women aborting? What are the root causes?
Yeah.
Are we able to solve those root causes or not? Or can we come just up with a law? Is it in line with the society, Namibian society?
Yeah.
I am an individual, yes, but I don't think my view counts a lot.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. No, it's again, I think as a leader of the institution, eventually your personal views influence, even silently, a lot of the policy position of an organization. That's why it's very important that when we are electing a president, for example, of the country, we need to know what kind of man or woman that is and what policies are they likely to drive. But of course, here is a collective decision. The question that I asked Fransina Kahungu when she was here, Meme Fransina Kahungu when she was here, was to say that, the Women's Council Congress happens, as is the same with other wings in the party, ahead of the main Congress of the party. What kind of influence would the Swapo Party Women's Council, under your leadership, have at that Congress? What kind of impact do you want to make?
To be learned from others. as you said, the Swapo Women Council Congress is always the first. And the desire for Swapo Women Council, for whoever when, is to have a good example so that others can learn from our example.
Yeah.
We are setting the way, we are paving the way for others, at least to follow. And if we don't do well, we may not set up a good, atmosphere for the rest to follow. So we really want to show that we are united, first and foremost. We are united as Swapo Party Women Council, and we want our organization to grow. It's a party.
It's a party.
Yes.
Do you prefer, not prefer, because obviously at Congress, a lot of resolutions get taken, policy positions, and so forth. But at an elective Congress, the interests that capture the mind of many is the elections of leaders of the party. Is it... I know that it's a very difficult question because you are not secretary of the Women's Council yet. But what kind of outcome, you don't have to put names to it, but what kind of outcome in terms of at least the top 4 would be ideal for the party, even for the unity of the party that you're talking about?
Did I get your question wrong?
Okay, so let me put it this way.
Which top 4?
Of the parties of the Congress. So
our Congress.
No. Your Congress takes place next week. We let's assume you win.
Yeah.
And then you lead the Women's Council to the Swapo Congress. So I'm saying at the Swapo Congress itself, what kind of election results would be ideal for the unity of the party?
Oh, it is a question, is maybe relevant, but the time is not the right time to answer me, to question me that question.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, no, it's fine. No, it's a fair...
we have to wait.
Yeah.
We have to wait for some of those questions. We have our body, our structures.
Yeah.
In Swapo, we have structures.
Yes.
And for us just to... It's not like that. That's not the way
we were brought up in Swapo.
We were brought up in Swapo.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay. No, yeah, it was really a general question, but it's okay, I understand you. I was asking just because sometimes the outcome is just men or it's just women, and one group or the other feels disillusioned because of that. So I was just asking in general to say, how should the result come out that will satisfy the rank and file of the party?
It's already said.
Yeah.
No need to explain. It's already said.
It's already said.
In the rules and procedures of the party.
Yeah. No, I understand you.
Yes.
But as a matter of fact, while you are on that point, Ms. Liswani, that is also where the problem is. Because when you say we want the top 4, for example, to be 50-50 gender-wise, which was the case currently until the unfortunate passing of Tatemargo Siku, that was it. The structure now had satisfied that requirement. But my issue has always been to say, if it's an elective process, if women are voted ahead of men, how are you going to balance that 50-50 thing? Because people are elected. Are you going to say, oh, Katrina, sorry, you got more votes than Toivo, but since we need to balance this thing, we are just going to throw you away. Is that fair?
No. One thing, these rules came a long way. People debated thoroughly on those before they came to 50-50. Maybe it was more than 5 years debating until they passed it.
Yeah. So
it's not an issue. It's not a big issue. Our leaders know how to solve this problem.
Yeah.
So it's not, to me, it's not a big issue at all.
Indeed.
Not at all.
Okay.
Yes.
The last question then to you, Ms. Liswani, is What is your track record in leadership, whether within the confines of Swapo or in other roles that you have played in society, that we must look up and say, look, these are credentials for somebody who is able to lead the Women's Council?
Thank you very much for the question. My leadership, my first leadership, I can say is when I was 13 years old, I was teaching Sunday school.
Yeah.
It's where my leadership started.
Yeah.
So from there, 74, when I left, I was doing my second year teaching. Of course, when you are teaching, it's another leadership.
Yes.
Then we left for exile. The first camp I arrived in, I was given a leadership position to take care of others. Maybe I was a bit tall, so they know.
Yeah.
So, and from there, when I was in exile, I was an administrator in the Department of Labor, assisting the Deputy Secretary for Labor. So that was another leadership. I was dealing with camps. We have camps for the trade unions. We call them workers' camps. They were under me, leading those camps, looking for whatever food, stay abroad, campaigning for material for them to get something.
Yeah.
Okay, from there, I was given a group of students to lead so that they can prepare for independence as labor inspectors. There were 20 of them. I took them to Lusaka, to a silo project. I was leading that project. So that is leadership. And from there, after independence, I returned home. I was a deputy director in the Ministry of Labor. So that is leadership.
Yes.
And while in the Ministry of Labor, I applied for the position of head of labor employment at the AU. So I got that position, head of labor for the whole of Africa. I stayed there for 8 years as working for that department. So then I returned home from Addis. I worked for the Swapo party. As a political advisor to Mimi Pendukeni, and thereafter political advisor to Tate Mbumba. And from there, we opened up a POWER office in Namibia. So
POWER is a Pan-African
Women Organization.
Yes.
Yes, I was also part of the structure as a deputy director again there. So, in so many boards, I don't need to tell which boards. So I think when it comes to leadership, I feel confident that I have enough of it.
Enough.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Katrina Liswani, for making time. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I think our viewers tonight have seen that this two-horse race is not of puppies, but really tested leaders who want to take the Swapo Party Women's Council to the next level. Thank you for watching.